Hi everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the second half of April and the full supermoon that we have coming up in Scorpio on the 26th or the 27th, depending on where in the world you live. Now, this is a very powerful month for energy. I described the first half, which was very focused on Aries energy in the last video. And Aries energy is cardinal fire. It's initiating, dynamic energy, creating new beginnings. It's a big shift of energy as we go through this month into the second half, because the personal planets are shifting from Aries into Taurus. So whatever you were initiating in the first half of the month, you can really put that into practical completion, let's say, in the second half. You can make it real. So it's very different because we're moving from cardinal fire to fixed earth. All of the planets are direct all the way through until the 27th of the month, when Pluto goes stationary retrograde. And remember that Mars is also out of bounds beyond the normal 23 degrees of latitude east, north or south of the ecliptic until the 25th of May. So that gives Mars a slightly kind of wild, excessive, out of control feeling and expression. Now, Mars is in Gemini, communication. So that could lead to hot words, angry words, assertive words. So because both Mars and Gemini are quick, it's quite instinctive, really think before you react, particularly in any heated situation. But that's going to continue, as I say, Mars out of bounds, all the way through till the 25th of May. Now, I talked last time about an exact square between Neptune in Pisces and Mars in Gemini coming up on the 9th of the month, and that could either express at a lower level of making us feel a little bit confused about our goals, Mars, or lower in energy, Mars. Neptune can undermine or dissolve energy. But at the highest level, this can help us to set our spiritual goals. If we can shift our focus to what do we want to achieve spiritually, then this square can work very well. Now, that is still operational as a square as we go into the second half, but no longer exact. However, on the 17th of the month, Mars comes to exactly trine Jupiter. Mars is at 26 of Gemini, Jupiter's at 26 of Aquarius. And this can be really lovely, actually. It's a very positive aspect. It's like a crusading aspect, if you like, of the new ideas that Mars in Gemini is bringing in. They will have a humanitarian basis because Jupiter is in Aquarius. And this is helping to energize bigger future visions for us. Jupiter is also helping to expand the courage of Mars. So there's something here really about initiating big concepts, big ideas that will feed into this new paradigm of the new Earth for the benefit of all. So that's very positive. On the 23rd of the month, Mars enters Cancer. And when any planet is at 0 degrees of the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, as Mars will be here as it enters Cancer, it is really on the public stage in some way. So we may see Mars type expression, which is assertion and drive and dynamism, sometimes aggression, on the public stage, on the world stage in some way. However, Mars in Cancer will work to make us more emotionally protective, perhaps more emotionally protective of those we love, our families, etc. Sometimes there can be a little bit of emotional vulnerability that comes in when Mars is in Cancer. And this is going to be true to some extent for all of us because it's global. On that same day, 23rd of April, Venus comes to conjunct Uranus. Now, this is at 10 degrees of Taurus. Now, if that falls in any of your relationship houses, your 5th, your 7th, your 11th, or in hard aspect to the rulers of those houses. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can download a free birth chart from my website, and if you get these 2 teaching videos above, you can work out with every update I do where these aspects fall for you, and you can work out the meaning every time. So if this falls in your relationship houses or aspects the rulers of your relationship houses, this can either manifest Venus conjunct Uranus as a sudden new beginning of a relationship, comes out of the blue, it's very exciting. Or if you're in a relationship, things can get slightly volatile, and the issue is usually that one of you wants more freedom, and that can destabilize the relationship a little. But it's transient, it's moving on, but just be aware of that, because it helps so much if we can see the transits that are creating certain experiences in our lives. Also, there may be some changes around currencies and finance, stock markets at that time, because Venus is very linked to those as well. Then on the 24th of the month, we have Mercury coming to conjunct Uranus. Now, this can be original, brilliant ideas, because Mercury, planet of communication, and the mind is plugging into the superconscious. So this can produce some wonderfully innovative ideas. But it can also be shocking news, surprising or shocking news coming out at this time. So these are all leading us into the full supermoon, which is happening on the 26th. It's happening at 8:31 p.m. Pacific and 4:31 a.m. UK time the next day, the 27th. We are going to feel the build-up of this all the way through from mid-month onwards. This is a really strong full supermoon. It happens at 7 degrees and 6 minutes of Scorpio. So again, see where that falls in your chart, because any full moon is really linked to a cycle of completion, culmination, closure, that kind of thing, earning the fruits of your labor. It could be, so see which area it falls in your chart, because that can help you anticipate what's going to unfold at this time. Now, this is the second supermoon, full supermoon in a row. Supermoons happen when the moon is much closer to the Earth in its orbit. The full moon is already the peak of the moon cycle, so emotions and feelings tend to come to a head, particularly when it's a supermoon, when the moon is even closer. This exerts a very strong pull on the tectonic plates of the Earth, but also on our psyches. Not only that, but this full supermoon is in Scorpio, a water sign, a feeling sign, and Scorpio is the most intense of all of the water signs. So this is going to be super intense feeling at this time. So see where this falls to give you some idea of what this may be about. Now, this is very powerful indeed, because at this time we have 7 planets in fixed signs. Now, fixity is, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, about determination and tenacity and kind of seeing it through to the end. It can be about stubbornness and resistance as well, kind of digging our heels in. So here we have the moon at 7 of Scorpio, squaring Saturn at 12 of Aquarius, and Saturn is squaring planets that are now in Taurus. Mercury started to go into Taurus on the 19th, followed by the Sun on the 20th, followed by Venus, etc. So in Taurus, we have the Sun, 7 degrees, Uranus, 10 degrees, Venus, 15 degrees, Mercury, 16 degrees, and Black Moon Lilith at 20 degrees. Now, Black Moon Lilith is slightly wide, but essentially Saturn is squaring all of those Taurus planets. And those Taurus planets are opposing the supermoon at 7 of Scorpio. So in our first half of the month, it was the Eris-Pluto square that was being highlighted. In the second half of the month, it's the Saturn-Uranus square, which we've got running all of 2021, which is being highlighted because those planets in Taurus are grouping around Uranus, energizing Uranus. So I made a video called Thoughts About 2021, and I'll put the link below, because that really talked about a lot of the main themes of Saturn square Uranus running all. So I won't repeat them here, but essentially it's the old Saturn versus the new Uranus that we're trying to create, we are creating right now, and it's control Saturn versus freedom Uranus. So these are the themes again that are going to be highlighted at this time. This is an incredibly intense T-square with all of those planets in fixity, and they're all in kind of square aspect to each other. So this is a kind of intractability. There's a feeling of locked horns, of one group of people having one set of views about something and another group of people having another set of views. And we know that's true. We know that there's a very large divide across the world in viewpoints. But this will tend to, this full supermoon will tend to highlight it. So it's kind of that you can't see around the corner in this T-square to the other people's points of view. It's hard to find a meeting point. And as I say, there's a feeling of digging your heels in on your own point of view, a feeling of stubbornness and resistance. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Now, let's look at some of the themes of Taurus. Well, firstly, it could be currencies, banking, finance. We could see some changes at this full supermoon around those. It could be related to issues to do with the body, because Taurus rules the human body. It's very likely to be seismic activity, because as I've spoken about before, simply the fact that we have Uranus in Taurus until 2026, that alone is a signature of earthquakes. But you put it together with the other planets in Taurus squaring Saturn and also opposing the moon in Scorpio, and you just have this incredible tension in fixed signs. So something's got to give. There's got to be some kind of release point. It's almost like you're pulling a catapult back, and you pull it and pull it and pull it, and eventually something has to snap. The energy has to give in some way. So this is also Uranus, very revolutionary energy as well. It's the energy of awakening. But just sticking to this seismic idea, I mean, I've spoken many times over the months about how there's a drop in the magnetic shield, a lot more gamma ray and neutrino light coming in. It's affecting the Schumann resonance quite dramatically. That's the heartbeat of the Earth. The Earth's core is actually expanding, and that causes cracks in the crust of the Earth, hence more earthquakes and volcanoes in the coming years. Now, as I say, Uranus is in Taurus till 2026, so we could be seeing a lot more extreme Earth events in that way, but this is certainly another highly probable time that we will see some seismic events. Could be political earthquakes, of course, as well. So if we look at the astrocartography of this full moon, and what that means is where this full moon becomes angular across certain geographies, where does it fall? Well, it runs straight up north-south through Brazil, through Vancouver, through northwest Canada, across into Scandinavia, down through Eastern Europe, Greece, East Africa, Japan, Eastern Indonesia, and Central Australia. So those are the geographies where this full supermoon is angular. Now, that doesn't mean that all of those countries are going to come into the news, but there is a greater probability for them to come into the news, particularly around any kind of sudden eruptive change, revolution, or seismic event. So the other big theme for this full supermoon is secrets, because Scorpio is par excellence the sign linked to secrets, particularly of the rich and powerful, particularly sexual and financial secrets. And any full moon has the potential to reveal secrets. This is going to be a big, big year of disclosure, which of course will accelerate the awakening of people once various truths come out. But even with a regular supermoon, it will be shining a light in dark corners, But a full supermoon in Scorpio is going to shine a lot of light into dark corners where we haven't explored before. The moon will be very big. It'll be closer to the Earth. It'll be very bright. Going to be some fabulous photographs from this, I think. So that there's the potential very strongly for revealing secrets at this time. And that's emphasized also because within a few hours of this full supermoon, Pluto moves stationary retrograde. Now, Pluto rules Scorpio. And whenever a planet changes direction and becomes stationary, it's like a huge tanker or huge ship sort of slowing down, moving stationary, and then gradually changing direction again. So the symbolism is magnified. So the symbolism around power and control, Pluto, could well be amplified in the world in some way. But so again, it could emphasize this theme around secrets of the rich and powerful, etc. We'll feel this very strongly. A good week to either side, we'll be seeing it. What's also very interesting on this theme of secrets is that the full supermoon at 7 of Scorpio is by degree exactly conjunct a fixed star called Khambalia. Khambalia, Khambalia. I'll put the name below and then you can go and do your own research. But this fixed star, the symbolism is linked to powerful, ancient, secret knowledge, which can be used for good or ill. And it may have been in the past, this wasn't used for beneficial purposes, but now with all of this Aquarius energy coming in, we can use this very powerful secret energy for humanitarian purposes to benefit all. So the energy around this full supermoon is intense, for sure. It's revolutionary. It's rebellious. It's potentially quite assertive, with Mars being out of bounds. It's linked to awakening because of disclosure of secrets. And we could well see some seismic activity. So there's a lot going on here. And I just want to come back to this symbolism of Uranus in Taurus. I'll be talking about this really all year in one form and another, because I've mentioned that Uranus is linked to the new and Taurus is linked to the earth. So this is our symbol for new earth being birthed. I've also mentioned in a past video that we're going to become much more aware of the frequency, Uranus, of our food, Taurus. We are also going to become much more aware, because we're developing our mastery with this, of the frequency, Uranus, of our own human bodies, Taurus. And what would be wonderful for all of us at these times of huge change, huge turbulence, lots of drama, lots of color, lots of information coming at us very quickly. And it's very easy to get into overwhelm and anxiety. And I know a lot of people are struggling with this. If we can really develop our own inner technology that is part of our mastery. And this comes for free, for everybody. Now, again, I've talked in the past in various videos about how wonderful it is to use the heart breath, to imagine that your heart is a lung. You close your eyes and just drop your breath into your heart and feel gratitude, love, etc. And that will slow and deepen your breath. That's a wonderful exercise. But there's another breath, which is a yogic breath that some of you may know, called the belly breath. The belly breath. And this is really, if you watch how a baby breathes, they breathe into their bellies, they breathe into their tummies completely naturally. This is a very good breath if you're struggling to fall asleep. And what you do is just close your eyes. You can be sitting, I think it's even better lying down. And just, you can put your hands on your tummy and just allow the breath to fill the belly. Don't imagine you're inhaling or pushing or forcing. This is super soft and super relaxed, just like a baby. So just allow the breath to fill the belly and then just slowly let the breath exhale. And you get into a kind of wave of the breath. And what I'd like you to try and focus on is a single pointed focus on that breath, not via the mind, Try and get the mind out of the way because it chatters and, oh, you didn't do this, didn't do that, fretting about yesterday, fretting about tomorrow, got your shopping list, da da da. Try and make the focus almost from the body. So all you are is the breath and the body. That's all you are. So when you allow the breath to come into the belly and then let it exhale, just get into that wave, because for yogis, they believe that the breath is the link of the body to the spirit. And particularly as you just gradually get into this, slow and deepen your breathing a lot, if you can just imagine that you're pausing for a couple of seconds at the end of every inhale and you're pausing at the end of every exhale, just for a couple of seconds, you are absolutely dropping into the present moment, particularly in those spaces between the breaths. That's where the magic happens. And the more you can just feel a sense also of inner peace, gratitude, love, just really be in the body in a positive way. And if you can do that at least twice a day, maybe you've got a chance to do it more, you only need to do it for a few minutes, you start to change your default frequency from any stress or anxiety or external reference points of the news, or don't watch that, into you have your own anchor. And if you can raise your frequency by doing that, and this will raise your frequency, then your external reality has to match that. It's just a mirror. It's all it is. It's just a mirror. So I've talked of many ways to raise your frequency. They're all so simple and all for free. Laugh, sing, dance, be with a friend, hug a child, hug a dog, hug a tree, candle gaze, whatever. But this is another very specific way with belly breathing that you can really drop into the present moment. And you start to have that strong sense of anchor and center. And you are the creator of your world. It's not being imposed upon you. So a lot in there, but I use this belly breath quite a lot, actually, because I'm an old yogi, so I use it a lot of the time. But it's very simple to do. Hope I've explained it clearly. And this is a super powerful time. We're moving into more powerful months because in May and June, those are eclipse months. So it keeps going. But this is the process of the cracking, almost the cracking of an egg, the breaking of the old system in order that we can birth new earth more fully and more quickly. So this is the whole process we're going through. So I hope that's helped you. If you'd like any more information about my books, my teaching videos, my very long monthly newsletter, just check out my website, pamgregory.com. And just to say, I did have an interview recently with Lee Harris that many people seem to have enjoyed. I'll put the link for that YouTube interview below, and hope you enjoy that. And thanks so much for listening. Bye for now.